Hello guys, Inslayerclone here, friendly neighborhood incel, back again with another video. Yo! No, I'm just joking. There's some music video from like, 20 years ago. Some black music, some lady, some black artist from like 20 years ago and stuff. That's how the music video starts. Like what the child says, yo. It's kind of funny, isn't it? Just making this video before I go home, I guess, and I came from the coffee shop. Actually, I was doing some journaling at the coffee shop, and I'm going home now. So that's the reason why I am outside. You know, actually, well, I was actually good. I went to work, then went to the coffee shop. Then now I'm going home. I guess doing journaling at the coffee shop. Now I'm going home. So anyway, today I want to talk about why you should be Megatron instead of Optimus Prime. So recently I've kind of been obsessing over the Transformers and stuff. I don't know why. I mean, I guess I used to love Transformers when I was a child and stuff. My friend in school and shit, he had a Transformers lunchbox and even a Transformers like watch as well. So he was a big fan of it. Also, I would say I was more of a Star Wars fan than Transformers back then, but I still also like the Transformers and stuff, especially the Decepticons. Always liked the Decepticons over the Autobots. I think the Decepticons were just more, especially from like the 2007 films, right? I'm talking like the 2007, so the Bay versus Transformers, not like animated or G1 and stuff, or the Cybertron games and stuff. Which I like the Cybertron games as well, Transformers games. War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron games. I'm mostly talking about the Bayverse games and stuff, and that's what I'm talking about when it comes to like, when it comes to like, what do you call it? To like, the Transformers, like, so yeah, you know. So the reason why I actually like the Decepticons and stuff, or Megatron per se, over like the Optimus Prime. I still like Optimus Prime and stuff, but from like a 2020 perspective, I don't really like Optimus Prime or the Autobots anymore. I'm I'm solely I'm solely a a Transformers Decepticons fan now, not like an Autobots fan, because I feel like you know the Autobots, especially from like um the like what do they call it, from the Michael Bay films, especially if you start studying all the movies and stuff from the Michael Bay films, maybe not from like Nights, what they call it, the Last Night. I think that film was pretty terrible and stuff for the most part. I mean, it's good and all. I mean, I guess they have like this like Victorian, like dark evil, not dark evil, I guess dark fantasy aesthetic with the Transformers, when you have like Megatron and Optimus Prime with long swords and stuff like that. I mean, that's pretty cool, I guess. But from like a story perspective, I think Transformers, those movies are just terrible. I mean, all the Transformers movies story wise are pretty bad, I guess, if you start looking at it. But I guess it's just fun entertainment of big robots fighting. And like I said before and stuff, without like the Michael Bay films, I guess you wouldn't have Transformers One and and Transformers as a brand as it is today. So I can't really say that the Transformers, those movies are bad, I guess, because it did actually make the Transformers brand as it is today. So you know I still like Transformers before the 2007 movie came out, but it wouldn't be as popular as it is now in 2024. You know, not 2024, 2025. I mean, but what do I mean by be Megatron instead of Optimus Prime? Well, if you know Megatron's ideology, he wants to rule over Cybertron for the most part. And the reason for this is that he's gone through immense suffering and immense challenges in his life. He was like a warrior, right? He was working as a in the mines and stuff, Megatron, and I forgot his before the name Megatron. But yeah, he was working in the mines and stuff like that, and you know, and he just felt like, you know, in his under his leadership, you know, things will go great, you know, and 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 he has experience for this and stuff. Like, what does Optimus Prime do? Oh, we need to protect everyone. We need to protect, you know, humans. We have to protect other life force. That's Optimus Prime's vision, right? He would destroy his entire race. If you saw in the Transformers 3 and stuff, where, you know, he destroys the Cybertron in the third movie, Dark of the Moon and stuff, completely destroys the entire race and stuff for the human beings. And in Age of Extinction, what did the humans do? They stabbed them in the back. They took their DNA, they transformed the Cybertronian DNA and stabbed all Autobots in the back. For what? This ideology of, oh well, we need to freedom is everyone's right. Not really. Not really everyone's right, you know. I mean, people are gonna put their own race over other people's races. That's how it's always been, right? That's how it's always been, you know. The Chinese are gonna put the Chinese first before Europeans or Africans and stuff, you know, etc., etc. Europeans, I don't know about them anymore. I mean, Europeans in like 2025, they kind of have to put everyone else before themselves now because of colonialism and, you know, imperialism and stuff like that. So Europeans at this point in time, they can't really have that national identity anymore, like other races have, you know. But for the most part and stuff, most people are loyalists to their own kind, I guess. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. And Optimus Prime, what he did, he pretty much, and what Sentinel did, you know, when they were fighting in Transformers 3 and stuff, sitting on the side of the Decepticons, not because of he cares about, because of he saw Megatron as evil, but he wants to save his own kind, you know. That's why he sided with Megatron. It's not because of oh no, saying he just switched sides. No, he wants to save the race, you know, and his people and stuff. That's why Sentinel sided of the Megatron, right? And I guess Megatron also wants to save his own kind as well. I mean, that was the whole purpose of reason why he was doing what he was doing and stuff, you know. Megatron, you know. I guess that's the reason why Megatron was doing what he was doing in the first films, the second film. I mean, Megatron is not an evil person or an evil entity, you know. If he was truly evil and stuff, you know, he wouldn't have he would have just destroyed all the humans as he is, what he was doing, you know. Right, you look at in the movie and stuff, in 2007 movie and stuff, you know, when he awoke up and stuff, he could have just destroyed all them people that were imprisoned him. No, he just went and flied out because, you know, he was trying to save his mission is trying to save his race, and that's what Megatron was doing. Many of the Decepticons are trying to do. That's what their mission is, you know. Optimus Prime's ideology, oh, we gotta protect everyone. You know, we gotta protect those people over there. We gotta protect human beings, while they're stabbing in the back, and that's what they did. You know, that's what humanity did to the Autobots eventually and stuff. You know, they stabbed them in the back, right? They made copies of them and then stabbed them in the back. And you can say, well, technically in the movie it goes all wrong, but still, I mean, that's betrayal and stuff. I wouldn't trust, you know, humanity after that. You know, say what you want and stuff, but after that process and stuff, getting stabbed in the back, why would I trust humans at that point, you know, or anyone, in fact, if they're stabbed in the back first? It's like, you know, it's like, you know, you do something for someone and you don't get anything in return, so why you continue doing it? Because, well, I want to preside as a good person, but that's not really being good, right? It's like, you know, Spider-Man, right? You know, Spider-Man does all this work for the city, New York City and such, and he was always getting spat in his face. So he should have decided with the Green Goblin, man. You know, always getting spat in the face and stuff. you know, by people. So, you know, I'm not saying you should be like a cruel individual or anything like that, but it's like everything has a cost to it, man. You know, and sometimes, you know, you say whatever and stuff. Oh, I have a connection to these people. I have this, that, another. You know, you're gonna have to choose eventually and stuff. And like I said, Megatron, we see him as a bad guy because he has red eyes and stuff. He kind of looks like a bad villain and stuff. But in actuality, he's not a bad guy. He's just you know trying to do what's best. You know, especially if you watch the new movie, which I haven't really watched anyway. But all I know that you know the Cybertron and stuff, you know, and Megatron, you know, he wanted to save, he wanted to cleanse, you know, remove the corrupt elites in Cybertron. If you watch them, if you know the movie and stuff, and Optimus Prime stopped him from trying to execute Sentinel Prime, you know, and in, and that's why the division started because he believes that he shouldn't do it that way, you know. So for me, I'm Team Megatron. I mean, it makes perfect sense what Megatron's trying to do, right? I mean, you have all these people, you know, in our real world, you know, saying that you need to do this because you're a real man. If you don't do this, you're not a real man, you know. I mean, you don't do this, you don't do that, you don't work extra hours, you don't do this, you're not a real man. Why? I know it's not going to benefit me, you know, right? People working 7 hours a week, you know. Maybe they're not working 7 hours a week, but they're definitely putting way amount of work because of they believe that if they don't do this work, that they're gonna be like they're gonna be like in poverty. But the reality is that the more you work, the less you gain from the society. The less you know about yourself, and the more that the system takes advantage of you. Imagine like you know the people, right? They're working every day, you know, they're working 9 hours a day, 10 hours, you know, maybe some working 15 hours every day, you know, for 5 days and stuff. Only got 2 days of themselves, right? Then they're gonna go back to it, work another 15 hours a week, just so to pay, just to pay some lifestyle that, quite frankly, they don't need. Half the time, the reason why people are working because they want to do this lifestyle. They want to go out partying and all that, you know, instead of the basic necessities of living, right? What does need living? Well, you need to pay a rent, you need to pay water bills and stuff, you need to pay heat bills and stuff. Once those are done, you don't need to work extra hours and stuff for, oh, I want to go to this event, you know. It's better off to actually you use your mind to make your money on your own, you know. And that's what people should be doing, and they're not trying to impress the system. Of course, I mean, not everyone wants to be an entrepreneur, of course, and that's fine, I guess. You know, not everyone wants to be that, but for me and stuff, that for me, my main vision is not to leave the system, right? That's my main vision in life, you know. My main vision in life is to leave, you know, and to like you know be like you know to do what I want, you know, and that's my main vision in life, you know, because you can't really do what you want when you're working for someone else, right? The elites, the person that owns the business or the CEO, whatever, he's practically getting to do whatever the hell he wants, you know. But you have to like bow down to him, you know, or her, whatever. It could be a female CEO, whatever CEO it is, you know. You don't get that luxury, unfortunately, and the only reason why you're doing this because, well, you need to survive at the end of the day. But most people they need what do most people value, right? They value socialization. They value they value getting entertained by everyone. That's what most people value and stuff. So when they actually start to prioritize themselves, society starts to question them, right? I mean, it's one woman that has questioned me why I don't do as much work. I don't only work about 3 days and stuff at a current job, because actually work, I don't work. I work 2 jobs actually. On Sunday, which is Sunday, I'm not going to tell you where I work, of course. But the reason why I don't work extra, right, hours at the actual club at the restaurant, because number one, this is just a mechanism of survival, right? It's not what I want to do, right? At the end of the day, it's just a means to an end to get the freaking paper so I can pay my taxes or pay bills and stuff, and you know, yeah, that's pretty much it, So that's the reason why I only work like that much. I don't work like 5 days a week on that job, because I know I'm gonna get burnt out very fast. I know myself at the end of the day. I know who I am. So you got very rude customers and stuff. You got very rude people and stuff. Why do I want to do that 5 days a week and stuff? And I know I am like, trying to overachieve and stuff. Even though I don't need to overachieve, but I know but I know myself that I want to impress everyone, right, on my overachievement. So, this is why I only work like 3 days, you know, instead of 5 days or 7 days at that job. Other day, day is just more of like voluntary, you know, because I look at the things what is on sale and shit. No, it's more of a vanity project, I guess you can call it, but for me and stuff, I'm looking at what I can use to sell and shit, you know. So I don't want to tell you my work history. It's kind of irrelevant on the topic, I guess, but what I'm trying to say, the whole purpose, what I'm trying to say and stuff, that you working extra hours or extra days because you want to impress, not only believing that your employer is going to see your efforts and they're going to be impressed by you. At the end of the day, they just need money, right? If let's just say I get in the car crash or whatever, or an accident, and I was out of the game for like 5 months, they're going to fire me and they're going to replace me, So either way and stuff, you're replaceable. You don't need to do these higher levels of grandeur just so you can get that extra paycheck. Get that extra, I don't know, get their pay rise, whatever. And I do believe that's a trap that people fall into. Oh, I'm gonna work 7 days a week and stuff, and I'm gonna get this extra paycheck at my job. I understand why people need to get paid, because rent prices are going up, high prices are going up. But at the end of the day and stuff, if you look at it from a logical perspective, it's just like a hamster wheel, right? You run faster, you get something out of the hamster, right? They're like those hamster wheels, like there's like that test. That's how I see it, right? You do this. If you do this at this point, 7 days a week, maybe for 3 months, we will consider you to be in the pay rise section, whatever it is. Working hard doesn't really pay off, it seems like, especially in the corporate environment. If you're working hard in the corporate environment, it's not going to pay off. Let's just keep it real here, right? The best thing is to work on yourself, preserve yourself to the highest degree, right? And that's what Megatron did in many of the movies and in the video games and in the comics. He was trying to preserve Cybertron and preserve, the Cybertronians. But Optimus Prime, he believes that everyone has a right over his own race. He's willing to destroy his own race just so he can preserve humankind and shit. And this is why, from logical, I mean, it's not just Megatron, it's most villains anyway in stories. Like you look at those villains like Green Goblin, you know, the Joker and stuff. I mean, let's just go to Green Goblin because Green Goblin's actually a bit more simplified, I guess. I mean, what happened to Green Goblin in his first Spider-Man movie? Right, his business, you know, the company that he built up from the beginning, working long hours and stuff to build that company. They kick him out, and that is why he decided to do what he did and took the people out. And they were saying he can say what he wants, but at the end of the day and stuff, he's the one that built the company, you know. And you know, you say, oh, he's a bad guy because you know he terrorizes Aunt May, he terrorizes you know, Mary Jane and Peter Parker and stuff, and his family. Yeah, I'm not saying everything that Green Goblin did is wrong and stuff, bad and stuff. Of course, doing that is bad, but what he did in that balcony scene, I 100% support him. You know, you can say what you want. You know, Minecraft isn't justified. Well, tell that to the U.S. government, right, or to the Israeli government, you know, or whatever government it is, Russian government, whatever government. It doesn't even matter what name. Any government around the world, they say, well, this is justified, you know, right? And if they can say it's justified, even though they probably Minecraft about 50 people in just to get one person, or about 200 people to get one person, you know, they would say, well, it's justified, you know, it's justified for the national security and stuff. Well, Green Goblin's justified because it's national security for him, because he built everything, you know, and he's probably going to be homeless. He's going to probably have to move out of his home, right? Are you going to allow that to happen? To not only downgrade the lifestyle, but all the things that you built up just to be taken away like that? No, of course not. Most people wouldn't be happy about that, right? So, you know, and Spider-Man, you know, just like I said before, Spider-Man is a loser and stuff because he goes around and try and stops Green Goblin for doing what he actually wants to do, while his life is going to shit, right? And fighting for the common man and stuff, even though the common man insults him behind his back and stuff, it's always like a good cause for him, right? Because what did Uncle Ben says, great power requires great responsibility, you know. That's nonsense. We all know that. Anyway, guys, I want to end it here and stuff. I think I've said what I need to have said. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Right? Be Megatron, don't be Optimus Prime. Be the Decepticon, don't be the Autobots. Right? So, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think about it and subscribe.